Donkey Kong.
It's just a barrel. How bad can it hurt?
Well, Grandma, what did you think of Pixels?
I wasn't sure what to expect, but I enjoyed it. It was not as though I understood all the games that they, never played these games myself. I recognized some of the names, but I wasn't up on how you were to defeat it. The characters were well done, I thought. Adam Sandler was a good choice for our lead nerd. The whole situation, of course, was so fantastic. You couldn't do anything but just sort of sit back and suspend your disbelief. Okay. If they say this is what's going to happen, well, that's okay. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. We did see it in 3D, which meant that there was some depth to the attacks from the video games, and the Earth scientists who came up with the light cannons and things, and they worked really fast to come up with a way to defeat the attacking Pixels. I enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect, but I just sat back and accepted what was supposed to happen. I thought it was kind of cool. They certainly, the filmmakers certainly worked hard with, what is it called? Computer generation?
Generated animation.
Of all the little critters and the pixels, when they exploded and stuff. There was a lot of that.
The best parts of it, frankly, were Adam Sandler sort of joking around. And
Yes.
That you could have had in just about any sort of movie, not necessarily one with a lot of special effects and aliens, attacking the Earth, that sort of concept. I mean, it was an interesting sort of concept, but I'm not sure that they really executed it all that well. I think that, again, I had heard that it was particularly good in 3D, so again, I wanted us to see it in 3D. However, I don't know that in this particular theater, and I think it may have just been the theater and not the 3D itself, the 3D worked very well. Again, you saw some depth to it, but I don't think that
I think it made it that much difference.
Yeah, I don't think the games and the creatures were really popping off the screen like I sort of would have expected for a movie about video games. Again, you're supposedly in the video game, and again, there's, if that were the case, again, the three dimensions would lend itself to enjoying the movie more.
We've experienced that in other films, where seeing it in 3D probably didn't make any difference. We could have enjoyed it just as much in, what is it, 2D?
Yeah.
2D.
I would say that's probably the case here, but just because, again, I could see it perhaps helping 3D. But in this particular case, and again, it may have just been the theater and the projection and such, it didn't really help. It didn't really,
enhance
work.
it.
Yeah, it didn't enhance it at all. And again, I think you really needed that to make it any better, because again, the story was, it was sort of interesting.
Once you accepted the premise, you just had to go with it.
Yeah,
the
but
story, you knew the story wasn't going to end badly, that there was some solution
Yeah.
And since we had our introduction to the game players when they were 10 years old, or however old they were when they were children.
Right.
So we knew that when this danger came to the world, they were the ones grown up that would know how to handle it. You know, we knew.
Right.
They set that premise up really early in the film, so all you had to do is sit back and say, okay, we'll see how our gamers manage
Well,
to save
yeah, I
the
mean,
world.
the whole movie was predictable in that way.
Yeah.
Again, you set them up as these gamers, and they're attacked by video games. They're going to fight the video games, and they're going to win. They're not
Yes.
going to lose,
No.
and the Earth be destroyed.
They're
So
gonna figure
that
it
part of it, you know, you can just set it.
accept it.
You can just set it aside. Yeah. So again, what you're left with then is again the particular battles that they have with the video games, and again how well those are depicted is, you know, gains in importance. And when the story isn't important, it's,
How
you
do
know,
you think the filmmakers did?
again, I don't think that
Oh,
they
no.
did very well. I mean, again, I think that again the 3D would have helped, but again, in this particular case, it didn't help, and again, I just don't think that it worked very well. Again, Adam Sandler was quite funny at times, but you know, it wasn't him joking all the time. And again, the concept of the video games attacking Earth really had to carry the movie in this case. He was not able to carry it at all.
I was amused by the fact that their childhood friend turned out to be the president of the United States. We were given many hints as to how he got himself elected to be president.
Yeah.
But when the crisis arose, here he was, president,
Right.
and he knew who to call.
While it was sort of fun, it was an interesting idea. I don't know that I could recommend it. I mean, you know, people might go to it and again find it sort of fun, but it's not really that good. I don't think. What do you think?
Well, you know, I agree with you. You know, of the films that we have seen, it certainly wouldn't be on my top 10 list,
No.
or you know, even close. It was a simple idea, and they did it well, and I enjoyed the film, but it wasn't all that good. You're right.
Well, I mean, even if it had been more successful at what it was attempting, it wasn't going to be, you know, War and Peace or any sort of an Oscar winner or something like that. I mean, it's
I'm
just
afraid
not that sort of a film. But even for what it was attempting, I don't think that it really worked.
I agree. We do not recommend this one, folks.
Okay.